ingredients are in place, except we need a spark. We need a match to set off this rocket. What is this match? Entrepreneurs. That's the missing ingredient. We need more entrepreneurs to create the vision, the imagination, and then of course the energy to bring this to fruition. You have to have people with the skills, the imagination, the drive to carry through these plans to create a new industry. I think that it's a mindset and a culture that is not natural to many societies. It's not natural for many people to be innovative, to shake the tree. For example, in many cultures, it's not good to make mistakes. But entrepreneurs have to make mistakes. That's how you become successful. And so we have to go against the grain of the past. We have to train a new group of young people to take leadership. We have to train people to know how to use money from wealthy people to channel it in this new economy. Nope, I see that the human spirit is identical for all these different groups. There's no one group that has a monopoly on innovation. And that's the beauty of this technology. The beauty of this technology is it's up for grabs. Let me give you an example. Moore's Law is slowing down. Moore's Law says computer power doubles every 18 months, and we see that it's slowing down. Therefore, essentially, at some point in the future, Silicon Valley will become a rust belt. Silicon Valley will become obsolete. That's the beauty of this technology. There's no one country that says they have a monopoly on it, because any country can start a software program that develops artificial intelligence. Any country can create a robot if they're smart enough. There's no monopoly on innovation. Now with the coming of the digital economy, there are people left behind by the digital economy. We see that in the United States. 70% of the workforce in the United States in the last 15, 20 years have stagnated or fallen behind. Only 30% have benefited tremendously from the digitalization of the United States, you see. And that's creating a backlash, and that's where Donald Trump comes in. Every revolution creates inequality, initially. Eventually, all boats are lifted, but it takes time. One of the keys is education, because 30% of America has done very well, and they are college educated. So it doesn't mean that one group has a monopoly on prosperity. It just means they're more educated. And every technology requires some education. Workers had to learn how to deal with locomotives. And then with the coming of the automobile industry, workers had to learn how to use mass production. So this new revolution of computers is nothing new. It's happened several times in the past. So we have to make sure that people are not left behind. And that's why we need education in order to make sure that they have jobs in the future. You know that Silicon Valley is dying for educated workers. They keep advertising. There's a shortage. There's a shortage of workers in Silicon Valley, but they require education. Yes, sometimes future goes faster than we predicted. When my first book came out in the 90s now, in the 1990s, mid-1990s, I predicted that we were going to have personal genomics by 2020. I spoke at a conference in Germany, and one biologist stood up and he denounced my prediction. He said, "This is stupid. This is ridiculous. It takes months to sequence one gene. Months to sequence one gene, and I'm predicting personalized genome by 2020? He said, "That's outrageous." Well, believe it or not, you can have personalized genomes tomorrow if you feel like it, right? We already have Ancestry.com, we have 23andMe. It's commercially available even before 2020. Yeah. So I was off by a few years. Where developing countries can leapfrog into the future, because you don't have to wire up a country anymore. You can use microwave towers. you can use microwaves. So it means that developing nations have an advantage that the industrialized countries don't have. For example, if you go to London or New York and look at the subways, they're awful. They're 100 years old. I ride the subway every day. They're 100 years old and they look like it. Beijing has a brand new subway system with all the latest in technology. You can leapfrog, therefore, because New York cannot build a new subway. It's too expensive to build a new subway system. We're stuck. We're stuck with an ancient 100-year-old subway system. Developing nations can leapfrog with cell phone technology. They don't have to wire up their country anymore. And using the latest in modern technology to create an infrastructure, transportation and internet infrastructure that is better than what you have in the West. I learned most of my science outside the classroom because I realized that only once in a while did I have a teacher who actually knew what they were talking about and tried to make it interesting. Now, what kept me going was we had the generation of Sputnik and the space race, and B, I would do reading on my own because I knew I would not get it in school.